Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 16th episode of The Lab. Sitting with me here today is Alex Trotter and Brandon Wehrig. We hope you guys enjoyed our last episode talking with Dr. David Farwick, a little bit about social media and taking a little bit more, care and not just taking certain posts at face value and, actually looking into the quality of what people post. But today what we're going to do is we're just going to talk a little bit about some recovery tools and just some of the fitness trackers. Whether or not we use them or not, and just we'll kind of go into those as well. But just to kind of start it off, obviously before we get into any of these, we just want to make sure you guys understand, no matter what kind of tool you have, no matter what someone puts out there, the number big three that you guys can do is always eating right, sleeping right, and, making sure you're, what, Brandon? Hot. What? Hydrating, there you go. Brandon's just like spaced.
Yeah.
It's related. I had to put some things together.
No, but I just kind of leading it off, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but like you get like those one or two people who are like just married to the foam roller. They're over there for like 15, 20 minutes, rolling out, and they're praying to, God that, for the love of Jesus, let this hip release.
Yeah.
I want to be able to run.
Just so they can deadlift 225.
Going straight for the heart right out of the gate.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of different things out there right now. If you look at like Hyperice and all the different Normatec things that are out, the percussion guns have made like a huge, huge killing in regards to, athletic, not just like rehab, but also like pre-performance. Heck, I think I've seen 4 or 5 different like colleges. When I was at Notre Dame back in June for a sports medicine seminar, they had like a Therabody station in almost every single like room, which was awesome. Jeez. They had some gold ones that I wanted to, but whole other story. But they had the vibrating foam roller, they had the percussion guns, they had some like different straps that you could use while you're doing that too, so you could kind of get some good stretching in after you're done. I know me, myself, I have the vibrating foam roller at home that I love using for my lats. I have the percussion gun. Heck, I even have a cupping set at home and some dry needles. So, I have like a mini clinic at home, which is kind of nice. What do you guys think about some of the hype behind, like, the people that are foam rolling for like 15, 20 minutes, or the people that are like, let me just get on my percussion gun. Let me just warm this up real quick, and then we can go. What do you guys think?
I think it's a short-term fix. It's not a long-term fix. I might feel good in the moment, but it's not going to be like a long-term
Yeah.
thing.
I think it'll get you by, but I've never been like married to a foam roller kind of thing. I don't like it. For myself, it's I don't know. I've just found better ways of doing things as far as that goes. I like lacrosse ball. Just hit like the direct area. You can roll right on it. If you're like a bigger person, then you can use like a wall to hit spots on your back or your chest and stuff like that. Because if you're a decent sized human, you lay on a lacrosse ball and it disappears, and then people are wondering why you're like rolling around and semi-seizuring. So that's what I like. I like lacrosse ball, softball gets in there.
Have you guys ever had like the lacrosse ball that I think it's called the New Wave? You hit it and it's a vibrating lacrosse ball.
No, I'm not on your salary.
I don't even have one, but I've used it.
I don't need the extra vibration.
Yeah.
The digging into that trigger point is good enough.
Yeah.
Pain sensation for me.
Yeah. I'll naturally start vibrating, twitching.
Is he okay? No, leave him alone. He's okay. Don't worry.
He just, I'm not even going to say that.
Won't even go to that one. No, I feel like if you are spending, Lord, more than 10 minutes on a foam roller, there's something more wrong that a foam roller ain't going to fix.
Maybe I had a single leg unilateral workout one day, and maybe like my non-dominant leg's a little bit more so than my dominant leg is. Mm-hmm. I might spend an extra 2-3 minutes digging into that spot with a massage gun or something like that, or a foam roller. But that's really about it. Just maybe wake it up a little bit more, get some blood flow into it.
I guess I should clarify. More than 10-15 minutes before you work out. Yeah. That when your warm up is almost as long as your workout, that's you're either getting pretty old or
you're weak. There's just no other way around it. Like you shouldn't be that, or you're weak minded.
Weak minded?
Yeah.
But my shoulder hurts, Trotter.
You'll warm up. When your blood starts pumping, fresh blood gets pumped to all those areas.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think people rely too much on modalities as opposed to like a good dynamic warm up. And I mean, there's a lot of research out there right now that'll point you towards more of a dynamic as opposed to using like passive modalities. Especially like that's why I'm not really a big fan of like using guns like the percussion guns like before performance. Yeah, it's great. It gets fluid moving. Whether or not you could say it heats tissue, I would say probably not to an extent I would agree with. Mm-hmm. But I mean, having the ability to do maybe a little bit of that and then going to a dynamic warm-up, sure, why not? But like, I had a few patients who were runners, cross-country runners, and they were foam rolling for like 20, 30 minutes before cross-country races. And I'm like, why aren't you actually just like doing a little bit more of a dynamic thing, like going out there, you're rolling out and then trying to go right into this race. And they're like, yeah, it makes me feel so much better. I'm like, I mean, it's good that you feel better, but like at the end of the day, like, get the muscles primed for what you need to do.
I guess half of it is just someone says it's going to work and you network with someone else, so like it's going to work for you, like on the brain. Like, I think like KT tape.
The placebo effect.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, KT tape.
I had one of the Venom wraps from my low back, like the heat. Like I would just like put that on, it would start heating up, and then have like the massage thing with it, and I would wear that during some of my dynamic warm ups, especially like some of our buildings are cold, like it's down to negative 20 wind chill, so the building's a little cool. So whatever you can do to kind of warm up a little quicker, a little bit more efficient. So
you still have that here?
The battery kind of shorted out on me pretty quick. Right when my warranty went up. So,
that'll get you. That'll get you. Shoot.
Yeah, I enjoyed that thing. I'd wrap it up. Even in the middle of summertime, it's 95 in the gym still.
Oh, jeez. You're still sitting there.
I was not used to it. For a while, it was like 95 and you got heated seats on. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit that before I get there.
Yeah.
That actually sounds... I do like heat. If you can get something that can help heat tissue up, get a little bit more blood flow to that area, why not? I do like the heat modality aspect. I think when... what?
In college, we had a very bro science way of warming up our little household. We would all like lift with our roommates and stuff like that. So it'd be, in the summertime, we're living on or around campus and we go and work out at the rec. Well, we just would turn our heat on in our car. So not only is it already like 90 to 100 degrees inside the car, now we got the heat cranked. And we just like wear hoodies and sweats, and then like on our drive over, we just be sweating bullets. It worked every time. None of us got injured miraculously.
There was a time I didn't even warm up in college. I just sat in the sauna for 5 minutes and I was good to go.
That's pretty much what I do now. Just a little like side-to-side neck movements. I should be good to squat. I'll warm up as it goes down, or as it goes up in weight.
Sweet Jesus. So we talk a lot about like, pretty like warm up stuff. What about like post workout? Some of the different tools. Like I think foam rolling after isn't necessarily a bad idea, or like getting onto the crossball after. But like sometimes I think people are like die hard. I need to do ice baths as soon as I'm done working out, or like what was the other one? Like putting on the Normatec legs as soon as they're done, or like as soon as they're. Did yours have the ice, or yours just the compression? Compression. Okay, I wasn't sure. Like that conjunction of like that compression with the cryo. Sometimes people do that after. How do you guys feel about all those? Like cold showers, the ice buckets?
No, you don't do that after workout. When your body's that's just going to slow down the protein synthesis of the body and things like that. So
natural healing process.
I would stay away from anything cold. I would just focus on like food.
Yeah.
Recover your body, nutrients, water. So much for tool wise. I mean, it depends. Like you like the compression part of the leg, and that's not necessarily. You got the whole like restricts the blood flow, rushes the blood back in, and things like that. Some people just think like having that tight wrap around the legs after a good leg day feels good.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I like the little blood rush because then I'm like, all right, like I feel like I did something. I don't do it all the time. I'm not married to the idea, but just every so often, just do that, or I don't know. If you have like you'll notice like a lot of the kids now, since we're like starting to waive the reverse hypers and the kind of weights that they use in the reps, like they're all dealing with like that back pump, but they can't like explain it because they don't know it yet. But like one of the only things that I've found that you can do is like lay upside down or just like flex your calves until you feel like your calves are going to burst. And then in my head, that's where the blood goes and it gets away from your low back. Again, bro science on that one. But that's the only thing I've found that I've got it to work.
You guys ever had a chance to have body tempering done before?
Yeah, I like that a lot as well.
What was that like? I've never had that done before. I've watched someone get that done before, and that looked excruciating. Mm-hmm. But what is it like?
Trigger point deep tissue is what it feels like. I mean, it feels like if you could, on like your IT bands, like you're never gonna tear an IT band. You know, like it's just not gonna happen. But it feels like it's going to. But yeah, it's very like the deepest kind of deep tissue massage that you can have, kind of thing. But I mean, you can feel it working. Like even like if I'm doing it on somebody else and I'm rolling them out, like I can actively like watch their knots or their like spasms just go poof, and then they just relax in that area. Like, okay, like we can move on. I've used it like on like my quads and my hamstrings and calves before squats just to kind of like prime them for an event that I'm about to go and do. Yeah. Just to kind of like wake them up a little bit if I need a little wake up call that day. So that's how I personally use it.
How heavy is it?
This one's like 120 or 150. It's not like one a big one.
Not a big one.
The biggest one I've ever used was like 220, and that was like excruciating. That sucked. Yeah.
I see what you mean by deep tissue then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But usually you'll use those on like the bigger body parts, you know, your thighs, back, butt, stuff like that.
Okay. That makes sense then. Have you ever had it done, Brandon?
I've not.
That'd be a fun one.
I haven't really got a whole lot of things done. I mean, I've had cupping, deep tissue massage, and dry needling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really about it.
Those are some happy tears with the needles.
Yeah. You get one of the good ones, you know?
I've been there. I'd say that's one of my personal favorites. Either like dry needling or like the scraping, the Graston, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I like that one too. But because we've tried like a massage gun like at the house, but just because Steph's fingers, she just can't take like massaging for that long. I mean, I'd have like maybe 3 minutes and she's kind of like already getting into her elbows and stuff like that. So,
well, you are a human brick, so makes sense.
She knew what she was getting into.
All that stuff is just expensive, man.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I do, I just trade
sessions.
Yeah.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, that's I do. Shit.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I've never even done Cairo.
I never found Cairo to be like beneficial. Like you go to like those cryotherapies or whatever. I think they put you in for either 2 minutes or 3 minutes, one of the two. And I felt good for maybe 24 hours. Like where I was like, all right, like I can see how this works. And I woke up the next day and I was like, never mind.
Yeah.
But it was cold though. That's for sure.
Just do it the old school way, man. Just eat and sleep.
Yeah.
Drink some water.
Yeah.
Try to, yeah.
Yeah, drink a lot of water. Don't be afraid to like eat carbs, or you can even buy like a carb like drink. Like I have like a Carbolene is what it's called, or Carbolin. I don't know how you say it, but I think that's like 50 grams of carbs in like one serving.
Damn.
So I mean, I prefer switching that over, you know, like a potato, rice, like any of that, and then I can just drink that too.
I'm the other way around.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat my stuff.
Yeah.
I like eating more.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of people ask me like what like protein shake I eat or drink. Like, usually I don't do.
Yeah.
I don't drink one. Like I would rather eat my food than or eat my protein rather than drink it. But that's just personal preference.
Yep.
Protein burritos. That's like my favorite thing. I will make a ton of ground beef or whatever I got in the fridge. Oh, they're magical.
Yep.
They're good. So let's kind of circle back here and let's go back to some of the recovery tools. Now you were talking about that Hyperice,
Venom.
Venom.
They got a knee one and a back one, and I want to say I had a shoulder one. I'm not sure.
I feel like there's a shoulder one there, or an ankle maybe. But I feel like it's
I
shoulder.
think it's shoulder.
But you could jerry rig it into being an ankle one.
So
Yeah.
I ended up putting, whenever I was doing dead December, my groin was like hanging on by a thread. I wrapped my back one around my thigh.
Shoot.
I think it's the point. I mean, honestly, like one of the most beneficial, like short-term recovery tools, I guess you would say, that I find most beneficial is flossing.
Yeah.
I would agree. I do like flossing as well.
Because basically, that's what I would put that Venom wrap around my thigh, and then when I was deadlifting, I would just literally put a huge floss band around my groin instead.
Was your groin hurting you a lot? Like it was like you pull something?
It was strained pretty good. That's the first time I ever had Jimmy. I actually went to Jimmy's house. The first time I really sat and talked to him. I went to his house and he grinded with my groin. It was probably I couldn't sprint flat for probably 3 months.
What was this?
And
Last month, 2 months ago.
I did 2021, 2022 probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably 2022 or 2020 when we opened the gym.
Okay. I was curious. Dang.
Yeah. Like I could run incline sprints, no problem. But once I went flat and that fell off kind of a little bit more farther behind, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just sharp pains.
Oh. One thing I would recommend is like if you ever have like that intense like sharp pain, is don't go putting heat on it. Don't go putting heat on that. That might not be so fun. I mean, if you let it within like those first 24, 48 hours, I wouldn't go doing that. But like if it's been like a week or two, it just feels like tight, then yeah, why not? Heat's not a bad thing. But yeah, let's take something that's inflamed and put a torch to it.
I had to keep going, man. That December, I still had 2 weeks left.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Now, you've used the Apple Watch, the fitness tracker, right?
Yeah. I don't know how
It does it.
valid it is.
Yeah.
You know, is the heart rate exactly what it? I have no idea. Calories, probably not. But if it's consistent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care. Like this thing has if I'm doing like a high intense interval training, or if my goal that day is to try to just get my heart rate up.
Mm-hmm.
If it says it's 180 and it's not exactly 180, then my heart rate could legitimately be maybe 190. And as long as it's consistently reading the same, that's really all I care about.
Just the consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, like, I used the Whoop for probably a solid, like, almost year and a half. And, like, don't get me wrong, it was great to kind of see, like, my sleep, I guess, tendencies were, like, you know, through the week, I'm consistent, 10:30, cool. But then every single morning, right there at 5 a.m., I'm up. And then weekends, you kind of see that shift. But the big thing would be, like, just kind of seeing, like, how, like, certain habits started affecting, like, my heart rate and, like, my heart rate variability. That was actually kind of a cool insight. I actually really like being able to see that because I could see, like, oh, you had, like, 2 or 3 beers, and it's like your heart rate variability tanked. It's like, shoot, okay, so maybe I'm putting myself in more of a deficit than I thought. And, like, over that year, I kind of found, like, wow, okay, maybe I'm not eating enough. Maybe I'm not sleeping enough. And then, like, I started actually focusing on, all right, let's go to bed earlier. Let's try to maintain the same sleep schedule on the weekends. Let's maybe not drink, you know, every other weekend. Maybe let's just do it once a month. And I started seeing, like, way better recoveries. My lift started going up. I started feeling better. So it's like, not to say that I didn't learn anything new, but it's just kind of those reaffirmations of, like, yeah, you need to be sleeping. You need to be eating. Yeah, you need to be hydrating and not putting, like, the things that are going to take it out of you. I mean, the one thing I would say that I'm not a big fan of with the fitness trackers, I mean, the thing with your Apple Watches, I mean, that's free, right?
Yeah, it comes with it.
Yeah. So, like, one of the things that I'm not a big fan of is when you put out, like, a fitness tracker and someone has to, like, with Whoop, the way that they do it, they give you the device, but then you have to pay a subscription either by month, by year, or so many months. And, like, is really that kind of... I mean, if you're, like, a professional athlete, yeah, that is totally worth your time and your money, and that is totally worth having that insight because, you know, every little bit's going to matter. But for someone like me, am I really going to want to pay? I mean, even the fact that they just upped their price, am I really going to want to have to pay that much every single month? No. So, I mean, I got what I learned from it. I called it a day. I definitely think they have their places, but, I mean, is it a necessity for training? No. I mean, at the end of the day, you could track your food on a paper. You could track your hydration. You could track your sleeping. You're like, oh, yeah, I averaged, like, let's say 6 hours a night. And then you look at when you start feeling like crap. Oh, I averaged like maybe a solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like things like that. And you can say like, okay, and then just make that correlation. I mean, it's not rocket science. But sometimes people want to make it that way.
Yeah.
You got all these like the new updates, like that says they can tell you your VO2 max.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Absolutely not.
Like I've done a max VO2 test. You're not getting that on the watch.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun study.
Yeah.
It'd
be worthless. He just told you the results. But yeah.
That'd be a good one.
I feel like another one is masking your recovery with energy drinks, because I've been known for that as well.
Solid take.
You know, because I mean, we definitely work crazy hours. Like there's been times here where we haven't left the gym until like 9 p.m. and then we're back here at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's not including us going home and eating a dinner, like winding down, going to sleep, and then waking up, you know, an hour early to go, and like we got to make ourselves breakfast too, because now we got another, you know, 14, 15 hour day. So like that, you can't mask the recovery portion just with like getting an energy drink in you and trying to just maintain like, oh, I can drink this thing and it'll buy me 2 to 3 hours of like energy. It's not doing nothing.
Or you drink the energy drink, it's like, great, my heart rate's really fast, but now I'm still tired.
Yeah.
I've never got into those things though.
That's right. I do. Yeah.
So you and I are on the rain train.
Yeah.
I just always woke up and just blasted that water faucet cold and just right to the face and ready to go.
This goes back to, I wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Ready to roll.
Keep it that way, because as soon as that little one comes rolling around, man, and you start drinking coffee, it ain't going to stop.
I just can't stand the smell of this. I doubt that's going to happen.
The baby or coffee?
Probably both.
You can't stand the smell of coffee? Who traumatized you as a child?
My college roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I gotta know.
He'd dump his coffee beans right in the trash can, and we'd always have the windows open, and I lived downstairs. So it would just come right downstairs, right in my bedroom. That's what I woke up to. When I was in the dorm, I woke up to the smell of weed, and then when I was in the apartment, I woke up to the smell of coffee, and both of them give me headaches.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Well, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys have any questions on any kind of recovery tools or any kind of things, to use before or after exercising, ask the question, reach out. But we will see you guys next time.